Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Would everyone please rise for the arrival of Basic Corrections Local Class 62, being led in by Aaron Anderson of the Portland Police Highland Guard. Please remain standing for the posting of our nation's colors and the national anthem being sung by Denisha Cosby.
Wings, outward, face. Forward, march. Diamond, forward, march. Color guard, center, face. Post the colors.
Class, half right, face. Class, present, arms.
Jose, can you see? By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Class, order, arms. Class, half left, face.
Color guard, dismiss.
Please be seated. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for Basic Corrections Local Class 62. My name is James Webb, and I have served as the primary training coordinator for this class. On behalf of the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training and the members of the graduating class, we thank you all for being with us here today. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce individuals who will participate in today's program from my right. Our commencement speaker, Sheriff Nick Hunter, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and my instructor for this class, Josh Brooks. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's graduation speaker, Sheriff Nick Hunter. Sheriff Hunter was appointed as the 41st Sheriff of Marion County in June of 2023. He began his law enforcement career in 2001, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, by volunteering as a reserve deputy for the Enforcement Division while also working as a facility security aide for the Marion County Jail. Sheriff Hunter briefly left Marion County to serve as a reserve police officer and then full-time police officer with the Independence Police Department, where he served as a field training officer, instructor, and detective. In 2008, Sheriff Hunter returned to the agency he considers his family and home, the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Over the next few years, he earned certification as a drug recognition expert, became a member of Marion County Special Weapons and Tactics Team, field training officer, and was assigned to oversee the agency's use of force program. Sheriff Hunter promoted to patrol sergeant in 2012 and lieutenant in 2015. While serving as a lieutenant, he spent time working assignments in both the enforcement and operation divisions of the Sheriff's Office. In 2016, Sheriff Hunter was appointed to the role of commander of Marion County SWAT after serving as a team leader since 2012. His experience includes serving as the incident commander for multiple critical incidents, to include the massive fire evacuation of the Santiam Canyon in 2020. Sheriff Hunter holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Willamette University. He has a passion for education and teaching, which he views as a critical component to enhancing partnerships within the community and also to further the development of the Sheriff's Office employees. Please join me in welcoming Sheriff Hunter.
The worst thing that you ever do is listen to your bio. And it's a bio that I didn't even write. So it's always an interesting thing every time that bio is read, because it tends to change because my executive assistant writes it. And so I think she's trying to perfect how long it should be and shouldn't be. And just for the record, that was too long. Way too much information. My name is Nick Hunter. I'm an honor and a privilege to be here today with you all. You will find, and you can see, I'll show you my notes later, I don't write speeches. I've already been questioned about this today because this is not the first time I've done this, and I'm much more one that just wants to talk to you all and specifically talk to the graduating class today. Speeches tend to stick your face down in paper, and then it just kind of sounds like an echo that's coming out of the room bouncing off of the podium. So we're going to try and avoid that today. For the class, this is a noble profession. I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for making this decision to choose to do this for your communities, to keep your communities safe. When we talk about it being a noble profession, we've got to start with history, and I do like history. If we don't know where we came from, I don't know how we get to where we are going. We've got to understand those things. There's learning lessons along the way, but the history is important. So for those of you that don't know the history of the sheriff, and we're going to get that to tie into our history of the jails, but the history of the sheriff goes back as far as 900. So the 9th century, excuse me, not 900, because I just added those off there. I'm going to go back to the 9th century. But when we talk about the 9th century, you had a bunch of shires that were property of the king, and then the shires had reeves, which were elected or appointed by the king. Those reeves, one of the most interesting things, and you will hear a debate between the terms of guardian and the term of warrior, and which one of those best exemplifies people in the public safety profession. But the reeves itself, the definition of a reeve, is in fact a guardian. And those guardians at the time were responsible for maintaining peace, maintaining discipline and order. They did the writs from the court, and they also maintained a jail. So I find it very interesting because when we look at where our jails came from and the concept of a jail, it goes back centuries. And this profession itself goes back centuries, especially when we talk about the sheriff position and what eventually became the elected sheriff position here in the United States. If we look at a little bit more locally and we want to talk about jails, well, now we get to about the 1840s, and you'll be happy to know that in the 1840s, you would not have had to work in the concrete jungle. So most of the jails that were done in the 1840s were done in hotels or other buildings, and you would have been assigned to supervise someone essentially wherever we could find a place to put that person, and then you would have been assigned essentially duty on that doorway or something else. So again, the history of jails and our most recent, when we get to the formality of what our jails look like now, started in about the 1850s. So we've got just over 175 years, or just under, depending on how you look at it, of history of this profession. So when I tell you that this is a noble profession, I mean it. But coming along with that noble profession, there's, and we'll hit some topics here, integrity, pride, accountability, error, communication, and listening are all things that I think are important for you all as you walk out the door today. You go back to your home agencies and you go back to your home communities and serve those home communities. One of the biggest things that we come in the door with in this profession, and it is absolutely an expectation of the communities that we serve, is our integrity and what that integrity actually means. The most basic definition of integrity is what you do when no one else is looking. That is your integrity. For you all, when you get into it and you start doing training on a daily basis, you're being questioned about those activities that you're doing. What that means for you all is not only understanding integrity, but it also means that you understand Mr. James Reason. Just out of curiosity, has anyone in the audience read the book by James Reason on human error? One of you? Excellent. Not shocking. It is a book that will put you to sleep. You can get about a page and a half done at a time, and it's about 150 odd pages. So that's how many sleepless nights it's going to cost you to read that book. But what you will find out about James Reason, and when you talk about human error, is that everybody in this room, to include you all, have experienced human error today. Human error is something that is very common in all of our lives. It gets back to how we understand, how we see the world, how we adjust our focus of attention. But one of the most important things that you should know is that 98% of the world goes by you every single day. 98% of the world you never see. If you never see 98% of the world, you cannot then report on that 98% that you didn't see. For you all, as you get into FTEP, why this becomes more important is that 98% is based on an average. It is not based on stress. It is not based on arousal. It is not based on what you all are going to go back and do when you get back into the jails and you start working and you have an FTO that's following you around like a shadow. And when we talk about that acceptance of human error, it goes back to our integrity. Because integrity is what you walked in the door with, and integrity is what will be challenged in the sense of, as you are training, there are things that are going to happen, and the most important thing that you can do is own those things. Now, when you own those things, you take accountability for them. It doesn't mean that you're accepting fault. It doesn't mean that something went horrible wrong, because when we talk about James Reason, there's two different kinds of human error. We like to call everything a mistake, but there's a mistake and a lapse. And that mistake means I did not know the process. That's the world that you all live in right now. You are going to be learning new processes that you don't know, and probably it's going to be a procedural process learning, meaning that there's going to be steps in it, and you're going to miss those steps. Once you learn things and you know the procedure, now you have lapses, and lapses come from your focus of attention. I was focused on my kiddos, or kiddo A, and I never saw kiddo B leave and run away while we were at the soccer game. Does that mean that you're a bad parent? No, it does not. And does that mean for you all that you're failing at what you're doing? Absolutely, it does not. But that accountability piece is extremely important. That accountability piece to say, I'm here to learn, and I know that there's gonna be some barriers and challenges while I'm learning, but I'm willing to accept those things, and I'm willing to listen, and I'm willing to listen and learn, is the most important thing you all can do. Once you learn, I wanna talk about accountability in a different sense that I think we've started to lose a little bit, and that's in peer accountability. When you go back to your agencies, there should be a culture. There should be a behavioral norm. Find out what those are. We started talking about history. Figure out what makes your agency, and then learn those behavioral norms. And as you all are gonna be brought into that circle, think about extending that into others, because you are not the last generation that will come through. There will be generations after you. And so how you treat those norms and those behavioral expectations is extremely important, but that's how we define the pride in our own agencies. That's how we define the pride in this noble profession, is that you are willing to look at that peer accountability side and look at folks before it ever has to go to a supervisor, before it has to ever get to the community. You are looking at what is happening and saying, not in my building, not in my agency, and you are holding each other peer accountable. There is something that I tell all my folks on day one. On day one, I tell them nobody has to be friends. You do not have to have a single friend at my entire agency. What you do have to be is professional. And through that professionalism is where we get to camaraderie, and that camaraderie leads to friendship. This job is not something that you will enjoy every day. It's impossible. You are gonna see some of the worst things you've ever seen in your life. You are gonna be put in some of the toughest situations that you've ever been in your entire life. That is when you are gonna want others to lean on. That is when you are gonna want the camaraderie. And that's when getting to work on that last day of the week, do you know what gets you there? What gets you there is your team that you're gonna go work with. What gets you there is your coworkers that you've built that strength and that bond with, that is important above all. And we are gonna hold each other accountable. We are gonna continue to do this job at the highest standard because we owe that to the communities that we serve that are giving us the opportunity to fill this role and to serve in this very noble fashion. I will easily go over my 7 to 10 minutes, so I'm gonna reel this back in. This is my other piece of advice for you that I think is, again, of utmost importance when you go back to your jobs. Communication is the key to everything. How we communicate defines who we are as an agency. It defines how our executive staff and how our leadership, how they're able to communicate and deal with us. And it defines how we then are viewed by the community. If we cannot communicate internally well, then as a sheriff, and I know there's some other sheriffs in the room, and I'm sure some other leaders and chiefs, if I can't have my staff communicate internally well, I have no expectation that they can go externally and do good communication. And so we have to start there. So for you all, I'll give you a couple pieces of that communication. One, and I did not come up with this on my own, I stole it from Socrates. There's 3 things that are very important to communication. One is candor. Be open and honest in the communications that you're having. If we don't talk about the actual problem that exists, we have no way of finding a solution or solving that actual problem. And sometimes it is easier to talk around it than it is to absolutely talk to it. But talk to that problem, find that candor. The second is intelligence, and intelligence sometimes starts to confuse people, and it's not a demeaning comment in any sort of way. Intelligence is subjectivity versus objectivity. And what we do as human beings is we bring subjectivity into conversations. We bring our biases, we bring our expectations, and most of all, we bring our feelings. And when we're actually trying to solve a problem, that is what creates stubbornness, and it creates ineffective communication. You have to be willing, again, to look at what the actual problem is and leave your subjectivity out of that conversation. And if you can leave your subjectivity out, we can actually talk about finding a solution without emotions getting involved, without emotions convoluting or clouding what we're trying to do. Third, and this is my most favorite part of Socrates, goodwill. I don't care whether the conversation is internal, external, or whether you're going home and you're having a conversation with your family, your spouse, whomever it is. Find the goodwill in there, meaning that we want to find the best outcome for everyone involved. In our profession, that does not mean that everyone is going to win every time. It's impossible. We cannot make everybody happy every time. But what you all can do is have that open and honest communication, looking for the best possible outcome, and then explain the why of why we can't do certain things that are going to cause people to be upset or be unhappy. I commend you all for where you're landing in this position when it comes to communication, because the jail is one of the best places to build communication skills. I started in the jail, and absolutely, I cherish that time that I spent there just learning to talk to people, because you have limited other tools. You have to solve problems with your voice. And so you are in a perfect place to keep building on those skills. Lastly, listen. And listening is not what we do every day. Listening is in a short kind of version, and I know nothing about me is short, so I get that. But our phones, everything else, we don't focus on listening, we don't pay attention, and we don't actually hear. So what I ask you to do is to actively listen. Actively listening in a conversation is providing feedback, paraphrasing, summarizing, hearing what somebody said, and then telling them back in your own words what you just heard from them. That is how we ensure that we're actually talking about the same thing. So if you all can put these skills together and work on these skills, you are en route right now for a long and fruitful career. Look for every opportunity to expand. Don't walk into a door thinking that you're entitled to anything. Go work for it, set goals, set benchmarks, and then go work towards those benchmarks and use every other resource that's around you to help you get there. Again, privilege and honor to get the chance to speak to this class, to speak to you all today. I will give out my other one for all those veterans in the room. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done for this country. Basic class of 62. I'm proud of you. And I know that there's a lot of people out here in this room that are proud of you. So look at how noble this profession is. Take it and see what you can do with it. Always remain strong to your agencies and your community. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, sir. Over the past 6 weeks, BCL 62 has demonstrated excellence in performance and character, despite physical exhaustion, mental fatigue, and difficult personal hardships. Doing so required them to develop trust and motivation to rely upon each other for support and evaluate their choices with others' interests in mind. As you see displayed on their guide-on flag over to my right, your left, they have earned the survival skills citation, which was probably a little more, I don't know, not necessarily difficult, maybe interesting this time around. I really want to give them credit because they've been super flexible. We had a scheduling issue, and normally they would have all finished their firearms certification and qualification last Friday. And in order to provide them with the same number of hours that the normal class in a normal schedule gets, we actually had to separate them in two groups. One group, so half the class finished their firearms qualification on Tuesday of this week, and the other half finished their qualification in firearms at about 5 o'clock last night. So really shows the flexibility and resilience that they've exhibited in their time here. And I explained to them this morning, or shared with them this morning, that we set a high expectation for corrections because that is the reputation that the program has maintained over the years. But every single venue, every single instructor on this campus made it a point to come and share the pleasure that it was in working with each of them through this last 6 weeks. Two other things that kind of set them apart is they're one of the few, I think I can only count of one, maybe two other classes in the last 11 years that volunteered with 2 full color guards. It's the reason why you had so many bodies presenting for you this morning. And in addition to that, we inserted a class here at the end of the year so that the agencies didn't have people kind of languishing, waiting until January when the next class started, which originally was supposed to be February. And so they actually shared resources with an incoming class, so their week 5 and week 6 overlapped with the new classes week 1 and 2. And they've also reached out to the new class and kind of shown them the way forward to help set them up for success. So I kind of want to give them those kudos up front before we kind of move on. So BCL 62, I admire the work that you've done and all that you have accomplished. It's been a pleasure serving you, and I challenge you to pursue this same level of excellence as you return back to your agencies. I'd especially like to recognize Deputy Taylor Manley with the Lane County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Manley volunteered to be the Class 62 class leader and has met that challenge with humility and honor. Ma'am, please stand up. Deputy Manley assisted with coordinating squad details and equipment, served as a liaison between staff and students, and has willingly endured many of the hardships and trials of leadership. Over the past 6 training weeks, Deputy Manley has truly shouldered responsibility above that expected of a basic training student, which I would like to extend a personal thank you for a job well done. Finally, I'd like to recognize the members of the Color Guard detail for their dedication to our nation's colors during this ceremony. As a unit, and without the benefit of marching the last 6 weeks, they have proudly performed their duties with an impressive degree of execution. Will the members of the Color Guard detail please stand when called? And if you all would hold your applause, because like I said, we have a bigger group this time, until I get them all standing for you. Co-Color Guard leader, Deputy Yasmin Barrera Torres, Polk County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Jacob Freitas, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Tyler Hill, Marion County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Austin Jenkins, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy David Lacombe, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Moses Landis, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Addison Mallory, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Neftali Ramirez Mendez, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Gracie Sarabia, Josephine County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Jacob Yaki, Baker County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Wayne Craig, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And co-color guard leader, Deputy Jonathan Case, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Next is our custom to introduce students who have achieved individual honors during their 6 weeks of training here at the Academy. Family and friends, please feel free to come forward and take photographs. We've already warned them that we are opening Paparazzi Plaza just for you. All of us have played defense, though. We'll hold them here. I'd like to invite Sheriff Hunter and Instructor Brooks to present the individual awards. The Outstanding Shooter Award is presenting to a student who has displayed excellence in marksmanship, safety, and tactical proficiency in firearms training as recognized by our range masters and instructors. The George L. Tooley Marksmanship Award is presented to Deputy Dakota Riley, Baker County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, my apologies in advance to the photographers. We don't give them advance notice of who's getting these. The Outstanding Health and Physical Fitness Award is earned by a student who demonstrates that good health and fitness are not only attributes to their personal lifestyle, but also to the profession of public safety. The Outstanding Health and Physical Fitness Award goes to Deputy Caden Eggers, Washington County Sheriff's Office. In each basic training class, an award is given for the best performance in defensive tactics and confrontational simulation training as determined by Academy staff. For this award, survival skills instructors look for technical proficiency as well as sensible decision-making, tenacity, and professionalism. The award for best performance in defensive tactics goes to Deputy Caden Eggers, Washington County Sheriff's Office. The Academic Achievement Award is presented to the student who displays outstanding scholastic achievement, as well as the ability to demonstrate skills and knowledge learned. With an overall academic average of 95.79%, the Dr. Ernest M. Ogard Jr. Academic Achievement Award is presented to Deputy Tyler Davidson, Coos County Sheriff's Office. Yeah. The Victor G. Attia Outstanding Student Award is named in honor of the distinguished former governor of the state of Oregon, in whose term of office this agency became a reality. This prestigious award goes to the student in each basic class who is selected by students and academy staff as the overall most outstanding student in the class. The student selected must display exceptional professionalism and demonstrate an exemplary attitude, as well as outstanding achievement in leadership, academics, health and fitness, and survival skills. The Department of Public Safety Standards and Training is proud to honor the recipient for the Victor G. Attia Outstanding Student Award for Basic Corrections Local Class 62, Deputy Taylor Manley, Lane County Sheriff's Office. Now it is my privilege to introduce the class speaker for Basic Corrections Local Class 62, Deputy David Lacombe with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office.
To begin, on behalf of Basic Corrections Local Class 62, I'd like to thank Sheriff Hunter for speaking at our graduation today. I'd like to present this token of our appreciation. Thank you, sir. After writing this speech, I realized an important point of gratitude that was overlooked, so this can be considered acknowledgments or preface. I'd like to take a moment and thank you, the spouses, significant others, friends and family members in two ways. First of all, for the past 6 weeks, thank you for the support at being at home and taking care of the day-to-day business, paying the bills, raising the children, feeding the pets while we were here, fulfilling our dreams. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to thank you in advance, because we had entered a field where you can be vicariously traumatized in our repeated travels to and from Dante's Inferno. This will be no easy task, to be the ear that we'll need for you to listen, the shoulder that we'll need to cry on, and the heart for you to love us when we don't know how to deal with our feelings. Thank you. To our agency's leadership, thank you for taking a chance on us. Hope we make you proud. Militium et fortitudium. This is Latin for resilience and fortitude. This is our class motto, and this is how it came to be. 10 months ago, I was asked a question by my sheriff on my first day. What is your purpose? So I stewed on this question for the past several months. What is my purpose? The dictionary defines purpose in a couple different ways. 1, the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. 2, a person's sense of resolve or determination. For the first definition, we'll substitute something with someone, the reason for which someone is created or for which someone exists. Galatians 5:13, for you, brothers, we're called to freedom, but not to use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, rather to serve one another in love. To quote Senator Dan Crenshaw, freedom is not the right to do what we want, but the privilege to do what we ought. In this context was in what a dutiful citizen is in our country. Not all are created for this line of work, but those that are, this is what you were created for. Love of duty, love of fellow man, love for country and community. This is the reason why we took this oath as a first responder, a service member in the armed forces, a public official, or in the medical field. We were called to do it for love. As you enter the campus, there's a memorial behind where the 3 flags are proudly raised in reveille and lowered in retreat daily. This memorial is titled, In the Service of Mankind. Engraved on this tribute are the countless scores of fallen police officers and firefighters. On the south portion of this memorial is written, heroism comes from the calling to help someone and not the need to be somebody. This is what their calling was, in the service of mankind, and this is what our calling is. The second definition, a person's sense of resolve or determination. Plato wrote, the first and best victory is to conquer yourself. This can be summed up into one word, fortitude. It takes fortitude to gain such victories. It takes fortitude to do something challenging every day. The best things in life are earned and never given. Do not avoid hard work or suffering, but meet it head on. Do not have self-pity during these hardships. In reality, pain will be inevitable. This will be chosen for us. Suffering, however, is optional. Choose not to be the victim, but be the one who overcomes adversity. As the saying goes, embrace the suck. Having fortitude is to be accountable for your actions. You did it right, wrong, or indifferent. Now own it with humility. It takes fortitude not to be the weakest link. Always put in and give 100%. If someone on your team is the weakest link, help them be stronger. Iron sharpens iron. We're all on the same team with the same goal. Lastly, be dutiful with fortitude. Pave the way to do what is right. From the simplest task of returning the shopping cart in the Walmart parking lot, or being on time for work, or something really difficult, like staying professional when an adult in custody throws poop at you. This is your duty. Do it with pride. As with any sculptor, an artist starts with a block of marble, a vision. The artist painstakingly chips away all the excess material with purpose to reveal the final product. Something to be presented to the world, something to be proud of. The faculty here at DPSST has done that for us, hammered, chiseled, sanded, and polished with purpose, not for pride, but for love of duty. Sadly, I am no physically work of art like Michelangelo's David or Venus de Milo. If the faculty were to name this work of art, it would be called resilience. They showed us that resilience is a muscle that needs to be exercised, pushed and strengthened with persistence, purpose, and passion. This is done academically and physically. Through examples of life experiences and taught curriculum, they sculpted us with the tools on how to be resilient, to never quit, and to fail forward. With these two elements, the fortitude we brought and the resilience they taught, we, the class BCL 62, are ready to continue with our purpose. Militium et fortitudium. To close with a final quote, this one from Aristotle. Be just by doing just actions. Become temperate by doing temperate actions. And become brave by doing brave actions. Class BCL 62, I challenge you to be purposeful with fulfilling your calling by living with purpose. Thank you.
And now, to all the graduates, the presentation of your certificates marks the conclusion of your training and the highlight of today's graduation. It signals the end of one phase of your career and the beginning of another. Will the members of Basic Corrections Local Class 62 please rise on command and come forward when your name is called?
Row, attention.
Deputy Alexander Acevedo, Crook County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Kyle Adams, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Nope, back in the middle, back in the middle. Deputy Ali, Washington County Sheriff's Office.
We'll keep him.
Congratulations. Deputy Andre Avgi, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Alejandro Avila, Lane County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Yasmin Barrera Torres, Polk County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Joshua Beckham, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Kaylin Bowles, Lynn County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Autumn Caro, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Taylor Manley, Lane County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Avila, do you have somebody for a photo?
She was on her way out.
Let's make that happen. Deputy Avila, come on back up. I tell him, I've got like 3 pictures my entire career. This is important. And none of them are good. Adams? Thank you. Like Sheriff Hunter said, it's a team effort, right?
Row, be seated.
Deputy Jonathan Case, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Wayne Craig, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Uriel Cruz, Marion County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Tyler Davidson, Coos County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Caden Eggers, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Andrew English, Northern Oregon Correction Facility. Deputy Jacob Freitas, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Alan Friedman, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Mackenzie Galera, Harney County Sheriff's Office.
Row, be seated.
Deputy Elizabeth Gonzalez Bernal, Washington County Sheriff's Office. One more. Got it? Deputy Ty Gribble, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Tyler Hill, Marion County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Austin Jenkins, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Scott Johnson, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Eli Kaspari, Marion County Sheriff's Office. Deputy David Lacombe, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Moses Landis, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Addison Mallory, Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Mia Ashley McDonald, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Brandon Murphy, Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Kyler Pemberton, Klamath County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Neftali Ramirez Mendez, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Dakota Riley, Baker County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Brandon Rubin, Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Christopher Sachow, Washington County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff beat down up in here. Deputy Gracie Sarabia, Josephine County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Jacob Yaki, Baker County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Isaiah Zaka, Josephine County Sheriff's Office. Congratulations, Class 62. I will now administer the Criminal Justice Code of Ethics. Will the members of Class 62 please rise on command?
Class, attention.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I swear as a criminal justice officer.
I swear as a criminal justice officer
That my fundamental duty is to serve mankind.
that my fundamental duty is to serve mankind,
To safeguard lives and property.
to safeguard lives and property,
To protect all persons against deception.
to protect all persons against deception,
The weak against oppression or intimidation.
the weak against oppression or intimidation,
The peaceful against violence or disorder.
the peaceful against violence or disorder,
To respect the constitutional rights of all people.
to respect the constitutional rights of all people,
To liberty, equality, and justice.
to liberty, equality, and justice.
Please join me in formally congratulating the graduates of Basic Corrections Local Class 62. This concludes our graduation ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, and we thank you for being with us here today on this special day. Please remain at your seats until the graduates have been dismissed. Afterward, we invite you to join us for a reception honoring the graduates, which will take place in our lobby. On behalf of the department, our director, and all the DPSST staff, I wish each graduate a safe and successful career.
Class, right face. Class, dismissed.